my opinion could be that it's a terrible idea, or I don't want to do the idea, but my actions should not be holding it over your head, acting grumpy, like all these other things, because I didn't get my way.
He makes every decision at work, okay? So yes, I am mostly in charge in the household. He is fully in charge at work. He makes the final call on every major decision we've ever made in the last, since you took over, and a lot of decisions before that. So yeah, it's true. I'm also alpha. I need to have ownership over my own things, and it's not at work, so it's going to be at home. And I'm best suited to be in charge at home anyway. Like, I know how to run.
Yeah. Well, I think the important marriage lesson is, like, we're each entitled to our opinions. And because someone's, like, we don't have to be on the same page all the time.
Yeah. And I hear your opinions at work. And then I share my opinions. I really don't think this is going to work. Here is why.
Yeah.
I feel very passionately that maybe we should try to do this instead.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if he says no, or he meets you in the middle and he still is doing what he thinks, then I say, okay, I get on board and I execute whatever that project is or whatever that decision is, because he's a CEO. He's best suited to be a CEO, and I respect that at the end of the day. I will still be heard, though, and I will still be passionate in my opinions.
Yep.
And same thing at home. Like, at the end of the day, not everything at home, but most things at home, like, I kind of have the final say on. I'm just best suited. I'm best suited to do it at home. I really am.
And to be really clear, and this is a really important point, is that being heard does not mean we go with your direction. Like,
no, yeah.
Like,
no.
And being heard does not mean, like no and not being heard. The word no and not being heard are two separate things.
Yeah.
Because every time you give me a direction, you're like, no, I disagree with that. And you're like, well, you're not, like, listening. No,
you do usually listen.
Like, but my point is that, like a lot of people are unable to separate themselves from their opinions.
Right.
And you are not your opinions. Your opinions are your thoughts. Opinions are not actions. Actions are different. And the inability to separate the two, and we have, everyone's like this in some degree, and that's separate. It's emotions, right? Like, and that's what we talk about a lot. Is like, my opinion could be that it's a terrible idea, or I don't want to do the idea, but my actions should not be holding it over your head, acting grumpy, like all these other things, because I didn't get my way.
Well, yeah. I used to be actually really bad at that, and I would kind of hold like a grudge. But now at work, it's like, I will be passionate in telling him exactly why I don't like his idea.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't win or we go his direction, I get on board with it, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
I do.
You have got yes.
100% I do.
That's been a long road to get to that point, and you have done amazing.
I've given over the reins. Control. You run the businesses.
Yeah, well, control is an illusion. I talk about this all the time.
I'm fine with it, though. I'm not insecure about giving up control. I don't need to be the person in charge.
I think control is an illusion. Like, we have control over
whatever
our
you
emotions.
want to call it.
No. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that, you phrase it in a way. I think words are important, right? You use the word winning. It's like, well, we're on the same team, right? So I don't win without you also. You winning,
true.
and you don't win without me winning. So, like, this
I
idea
need more
of
like
friction,
a debate kind of thing.
No, I understand. I'm not saying, I'm just breaking it down,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a very nuanced thing, especially for couples who are very competitive, and you get this in this roommate phase where you're constantly arguing and fighting. It's like, you're on the same fucking team.
Yeah.
It's like I equate to my sister. If you talk to my sister, she would say, or she might say, that she felt compared to me, competitive with me, or whatever it is growing up. And I would say, like, Abby, I've never felt like I was competing with you, or we weren't on the same team. We would have been like best friends. But, like, I've never in my mind was like, you know what? I know I'm wrong, but I need to win this argument. And to be fair, it was like that on the beginning of our relationship. Like,
me and you.
Yeah. I was like, I would
not him and Abby.
Yeah, correct. It was like, hey, my mechanism is I need to win this argument, and I will stoop to whatever
he totally
thing I can to get one up on you.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's more like it's malicious, but it comes from a place of love, because it's more like you're my best friend. It's like when you fight more with your best friend than you do with any other.
Well, for men, which has been a thing in our relationship, is like he treats me like a dude sometimes. And I know I'm alpha, but I am a feminine female. Like, so I don't want to be treated like I'm your friend. And we've, done this in therapy and stuff, where it's like we have to be able to get over that, because men, typically the gender of men, bond through competition.
Mm-hmm.
Women do not. women bond through communication, problem solving together, like working through problems together, talking to each other, venting, all that stuff. I forget, there's a study on this. I forget exactly what it was, but 100% it was that men bond through competition. And I see that with our sons. And I think that was sort of our mindset in the beginning of our relationship. And I just felt like so attacked all the time because I am a woman and I don't bond through competition. And yeah, it was something that we had to work on a lot, and we've gotten a lot better at it.
But you're very, and the thing is, like, you're very, I don't know what the word, like, not assertive, but, like, you're not a very, no, I don't know, that's, I'm going to butcher this, I'm just going to try to go with it, normal woman. like you are very masculine for a woman.
Yeah.
And not, like, physical features, but, like, you're very assertive, very confident, very.
Physical features, too.
Yeah.
Talk about my muscles. I'm just kidding.
No, you're assertive. I don't know what okay, agreeableness. This is little Jordan Peterson. Yeah, you are not very agreeable.
No.
And successful people are very high in disagreeableness, or like very low in agreeableness, or high in disagreeableness, whatever the correct term is. And that makes men, and this is, I think, makes men, I think, a little bit more successful, or as an indicator of more success. And that, I think, makes women traditionally not successful, whatever that means, just being like maybe a housewife, whatever the traditional term would be of our.
Oh, we're gonna get some hate mail over that.
Well, I'm just saying is like it's not typical. Like,
no,
society doesn't necessarily select for women who are disagreeable. It was like the
wrap it up here.
Okay, sorry, but the Nikki Glaser thing, when she was like how men and women rank funniness, is that men rank funniness by level of funniness in a spouse by them laughing at their jokes, and then women rank it as somebody making them laugh.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting thing. It's like, hey, this is the same thing that means two different things to each different sex. And with you, I think you're I'm
atypical.
Well, I think a lot of men I think most men are difficult to be around, and then women kind of put this mask or this charade on to make things
people-pleasing.
People pleasers, right? You're not a people pleaser. Like, and you're the only women that I've been around, and this is why I married you. Like, to be back to my vegetables comment, is because you keep me on my toes, right? I never really know what I'm gonna get, right? And it's like, that's exciting, that's engaging, that's inspiring to be around, and it's also very challenging.
Yeah.
And I think it's incredibly rewarding. I think it's not just challenging, like, oh, this is tough. It's like, it's very rewarding to have the type of relationship that you and I have. My parents are best friends. I didn't grow up. I don't live this life where I want to go out golfing or spending time away from the family. It's like I mentioned it apparently last night. It's like, I don't want to be around any of these people. I don't like crowds.
Max,
I just want to hang around you. I just want to hang around you. I'm like, hey, I want to be around my best friend. And
well, I think the trait of me being not agreeable and like speaking my opinion and being alpha or sort of whatever you want to say, definitely has its highs and lows, but I 100% would not be where I am in my career today if I was not like that. So I will take it. And thank you. And sorry to anyone I've ever offended. Basically. Yeah. That's a good place to stick a pin in it for this week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you want to hear about something, shoot us a DM. If you have a question for us, shoot us a DM or comment. There's a comment section below. We love hanging out with you. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.